Brian Laundrie's parents have been served with the lawsuit. And why does that matter? I'll fill you in because it starts the clock ticking on some important dates coming up. So I'm going to give you an update in this video. And if you haven't seen the video I did on the next steps in the Petito versus Laundrie lawsuit, or if you haven't looked at Examining the Lawsuit, the Petito versus Laundrie lawsuit, please do look at that before you look at this video. It'll give you some background information. So hi there, I'm Michele Hagan. I'm a legal analyst and a former prosecutor. You may recognize me because I provided a lot of legal analysis on the Elizabeth Holmes case. And I want to say thank you to all of those of you who have subscribed. Thank you for supporting my work. And to those of you who haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Hit the like button. Hit the notification bell button so you get the next video, notified of the next video. And please do share and do leave a comment or question because I want to hear your analysis, because this video is simply my opinion. So what we're going to look at is we're going to look at two of the recent court orders, and we're going to look at calculate some of the dates that are coming up. So let me give you some background in case you don't know what I'm talking about here. So it's a lawsuit where Gabby's parents, the Petito and Schmidt, are suing Brian's parents, and it's a negligence lawsuit. The Petito and Schmidt, and I'm going to refer to them as Gabby's parents. Gabby's parents are suing Brian's parents for negligence, for causing them emotional distress. Based on them, on the Petitos alleging that the Laundries knew that where their daughter Gabby was, and they withheld that information. And again, please go look at the video I did on Examining the Lawsuit where I walk you through what are the facts that they allege, that the Petitos allege against the Laundries, okay? So, what are the dates coming up? And it's important. And why does it matter that Brian's parents have been served? Because it starts the clock on when the next dates, the next stage in the Petito versus Laundrie lawsuit. All right, so I'm going to share with you, I'm going to walk you through some of the documents, and we're going to do some calculations. Basic math is very simple to come up with the important dates that are coming up. And again, please do subscribe, leave a comment or question. I really appreciate you supporting my work. All right, so let's take a look at what I'm going to show you here is one of the recent filings. Okay, so this is the certificate. Let me see here. Let me hang on a second here. It's a certificate of compliance. We'll look at that in a second. I want to back you up here and just go over a few things real quickly. And again, please do look at the prior 3 videos I've done. Next steps in the Petito versus Laundrie, clarifying the next steps, and also examining the lawsuit. All right, so this is in the 12th Judicial Circuit Court. So again, Circuit Court's trial court. That's where they filed, the Petito and Schmidt, Gabby's parents filed the lawsuit against the Laundries. So you see Joseph Petito and Nichole Schmidt, that's Gabby's father and Gabby's mother, versus Christopher and Roberta Laundrie. Okay, this is it's called a civil case management order, and I did refer to this. I did walk you through this in the next steps in the lawsuit. So you might want to take a look at that video too. But I'll go over this rather quickly just to get into the dates here. So these are the 2 court orders that the court issued requiring the Gabby's parents and Brian's parents to do something, okay? So what it says here is that the civil case management, so they need to manage the process. You know, what are going to be the next dates, you know, from filing the complaint, which they did file. The Petitos filed it on March 10th. What's the next thing that happen? It's going to be a court appearance, and that's June 30th. But before we get there to the June 30th date, the parties are required to meet and confer within 30 days after the last party was served. Well, how do we know when Brian's parents were served? I'll show you. Here is the return of service, and this is what happens when you send out a process server to go personally serve Brian's parents, both Roberta Laundrie and Christopher Laundrie. So I will show you this. This was also filed with the court. So here's the lawsuit, Joseph Petito and Nichole Schmidt versus the Laundries. And it's on behalf of the plaintiff's counsel, Patrick Riley, who's representing Gabby's parents. So it says received by, here comes the judge. That's the name of the process server company that went out and personally served both Brian's parents with a copy of this summons to appear in court and also a copy of the lawsuit. Okay. So it says here on March 14th, Gabby's parents' attorneys requested that these process servers go out and serve Brian's parents. And it says here that they were served on March 14th. So that starts the clock because we see a lot of these dates revolve around when were the parties last served. Okay. So March 14th, remember that date at 3:29 p.m. It says here that Roberta, if you look over here, Roberta Laundrie at the address in North Point, Florida, she was served. She was given a copy of, I will show you. This is again the filing with the court. So it shows on March 14th, Roberta Laundrie was served with the summons, and this is issued by the state of Florida to the sheriffs to go out and personally serve Roberta Laundrie with a copy of the complaint, all right, which is the lawsuit. And then it's also telling Roberta Laundrie, defendant is hereby required to serve written defenses to said complaint. So this is telling Roberta Laundrie, Mrs. Laundrie, that she needs to file a written defenses to the complaint. What is she going to say, to all those allegations in that lawsuit? And again, go look at that video I did on examining the lawsuit. It'll walk you through all the allegations, okay? So this is telling Mrs. Laundrie that she needs to serve written defenses, otherwise known as an answer, as to all those allegations to the plaintiff's attorney. So send the answer or the written defenses to Patrick Riley, who's representing Gabby's parents. Okay, and when do they need to do this? Within 20 days after service of summons. So we know that she was served on March 14th, and so was Brian's father, Christopher Laundrie. He was also served. We can look at that quickly too. But they need to do something within 20 days after being served with the summons. So within 20 days, if they were served on, it's March 14th, but they get an extra day because it says exclusive of the day of service. So we start the clock on March 15th. So within 20 days of that gives us, I think it's April, let me double check here. April 3rd is 20 days. And by the way, it's based on, I'm scrolling down here to show you. So it's telling Roberta Laundrie and Christopher Laundrie that a lawsuit has been filed against them. That's what the summons and the copy of the lawsuit tell them. And you have 20 calendar days, not business days. So from March 15th plus 20 days, here's the calculation. And hopefully I'm doing my math right. That takes us to April 3rd. So I looked at the calendar. April 3rd is a Sunday. So I'm not a Florida lawyer. I'm a California lawyer. I assume they have until April 4th because that's the next court day, which is the Monday. But maybe it's the Friday before, which I think is April 1st. So anyway, so this is when the clock starts ticking. On that March 14th date, they have 20 days from their calendar days to answer, basically send written defenses. They're filing an answer as to what as to their responses to each one of those allegations. Did they know? Did Brian advise them that he had killed Gabby? Did they make arrangements to get Brian out of the country? Yes or no? Or deny? And they're going to be stating, and we'll look at that answer. I'll keep track of this when they do make those filings. And here is Christopher Laundrie's. This is proof that he was served with the lawsuit. Okay, so it says over here, Christopher Laundrie, also on March 14th. So again, the clock starts with him also, March 14th. So we give him the extra day to March 15th. So he's got 20 calendar days to respond to those allegations in the complaint in the lawsuit filed by Gabby's parents. Okay, so I want to show you a few other things here briefly. So the initial case management conference is June 30th, but they have to do a few things before that. One, they have to respond to those allegations and file the written defenses. Brian's parents do, right? And they're also told that they have to go to this June 30th court appearance, this case management conference, which is basically where the court decides, sets up a schedule, when we're going to have a pretrial conference, whether they're going to have mediation, all of those things that I will go through in a second. I'll show you the case management report. So if they fail to attend the court hearing on June 30th, then the court could dismiss the lawsuit, right? So how do the parties have to appear? Well, the court's saying it's mandatory appearance, and you have your choice. You can either appear in person or by Zoom. Okay, these other paragraphs, let's see. They're going to be setting various deadlines that will govern the progression of the case. That's the point of the management conference, the case management conference. Okay, and they also point out that if you procrastinate in completing discovery or unavailability of counsel, that doesn't constitute good cause. And the court is telling the parties, both Gabby's parents and Brian's parents, that if they fail to abide by the deadlines that the court sets, they may result in sanctions, which is monetary sanctions, or striking the case or dismissing the case. Okay, and then it's also letting us know and letting the parties know that typically, and the Petitos, Gabby's parents have asked for a jury trial. So that means that it has to be set within 18 months of filing. So that would be until September 2023. If I did my math correct, they would have a trial prior to September 2023. Okay, so the first step has been met here, where the court has ordered the plaintiff to serve a copy of the order, and I know that they served it because I will show you. They have to serve a copy of this case management order, this court order, on Brian's parents, and that is what this is. So this is certification of compliance, and I hope this isn't too complicated, but I thought people might want to know what the dates are. So this is where Gabby's parents filed a certification of compliance, telling the court that they have abided by the court's order to send the case management order and the order setting the initial case management hearing to Brian's parents. So this is Gabby's parents certifying that they did it. They put it in mail to the defendants, and the defendants are Brian's parents. Okay, and those are the two court orders. That is letting Brian's parents know that they have to appear to this case management date on June 30th. Okay, so let me show you a couple things just briefly in the case management report. Oh, well, right here on paragraph 2. So we went through the certification compliance. The plaintiffs have done that. Gabby's parents have done that. They've mailed the case management order to Brian's parents. Now what's the next thing they need to do? They need to meet and confer. The parties or their attorneys shall, not may, shall. That means they must meet and confer within 30 days after the last party is served. And that's why I brought up the point of, and why it's important, as to what date did the clock start? When were the Laundries served? They were served on March 14th. So that means within 30 days of March 14th, the parties or their attorneys have to meet and confer, right? So they need to jointly complete the case management report, which I went over in the Examining the Lawsuit video. And I went over it in the next step video, and I'll also just briefly go over it here with you. Okay, so that's step 2. So they have to meet before April 14th and fill out the case management report. Then what's the next thing? Under paragraph 3, After they complete the case management report, they have to file it within 5 days with the court. So that gives us a date of April 19th. We will know by April 19th, unless there's some excused delay or something else. But we will know by April 19th what the case management report is. They'll let us know when when the parties are requesting a trial date. They'll let us know. I'll show you instead of telling you. I'll just show you here quickly here. So just scrolling on, reminding everybody, there's no recording of the proceeding on June 30th. It's coming up. There's going to be there's no audio or visual recording of the proceeding. Okay. So I'll just scroll through this. You can go ahead and read it. And I'll show you on the case management report, which the next thing the parties need to meet and confer and complete this document. It's called the case management report. They have to answer these questions, okay? Both parties, Brian's parents and Gabby's parents, right? So did they meet and confer as required? The parties in the lawsuit request, proposed trial dates. Both sides can request trial dates, propose trial dates. And the reason the court wants this case management report is they want to start scheduling. What's the next thing that's going to happen in the case? Okay, what's the next date? What's the next appearance? When are we going to have the pretrial conference? When will the trial be? Okay, so moving along here. You can go, so have all defendants been served? Yes, they've all been served now. Brian's parents have been served. Do the parties believe a counterclaim or cross-claim? I put a question mark because we don't know yet. We'll find out when they file their answer, otherwise known as the written defenses, that are due by April 3rd. Okay? So we'll know if there's going to be any cross-complaint, if they're going to be suing anyone else, or if the Laundries are going to be suing the Petito Schmidts for anything. We'll find that out. Okay, then I thought I would point out, now, Brian's parents' attorney, Mr. Bertolino, has already reportedly said that the Laundries didn't have to talk. They didn't have to provide any information about where Gabby was, whether or not Brian advised them that he killed Gabby, etc. Because they have a right to remain silent, is what he has stated. Okay? So the next thing that could happen is that Brian's parents could file what's called a motion to dismiss the complaint. On one of the reasons might be they have a constitutional right to remain silent. I don't know. We're going to find out. But this tells us the deadline. So here's another date that's important. So it says it's the 60 days. Deadline for all motions to dismiss or objections to the pleadings. If greater than 60 days, you must appear at the initial. So they've got within 60 days to go ahead, 60 days from when they were served with the lawsuit. The Laundries have 60 days to file a motion to dismiss or object. I think that's what this is saying. Okay. Again, this is just for educational, informational purposes, right? So that looks like it's August 30th. So we'll know, I would think, unless there's some good cause reason to extend it, by August 30th, whether or not this lawsuit is going to proceed, right? Whether they're going to overcome any objections or motions to dismiss by Brian's parents. Okay, and there is, let's see what else I wanted to point out to you. It's regarding the experts. This is about the pre-trial conference, which is down the road. So these dates don't start applying until the pre-trial conference, which I call the PTC. Okay, so I'll just scroll through this. You're welcome to read it again if you'd like. And then they talk about dispositive motions. Dispositive means disposing of the case. Like if there's a reason to get rid of the case, maybe there's a legitimate constitutional right, I don't know, or a legitimate defense that would kick out this case. One of the motions is called summary judgment, and I hope this isn't too technical. Summary judgment is basically saying that assuming all the evidence that's presented, all the facts that are alleged, that even if all those facts are alleged it doesn't make a claim, a cause of action, right? There's nothing that's disputed in these facts, and it doesn't amount to a lawsuit. I mean, that's just a general definition of summary judgment. But anyway, so that's just letting you know, and that's not going to kick in until whether or not they file a summary judgment to get rid of it, saying they failed to, let me make sure I get the date here right. Hang on a second. If they're able to say that they're, considering all the evidence, the facts aren't enough to amount to a cause of action, that could be possibly a summary judgment motion. So I don't know. Again, I don't practice Florida law, and this is just to provide you with this information. Okay. So then we also have the deadline. Let's see, the mediation deadline. So they also have an opportunity to get together and try to mediate and resolve this short of going to a trial. And they may also have the opportunity to do arbitration. I don't know. We're going to find out. And I think that is it. Let me scroll down and see if there's anything else in here. Nope, I think that's it. That's just basically the attorneys filling out all their contact information. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful to you. Just to let you know, okay, the Laundries have been served, so now they need to respond to the lawsuit. So they've got the 20 days from date of service. That was March 14th. So if I did my math right here, that gives us April 3rd, around April 3rd. They need to file what's called, in California, it's called an answer. So that's their written defenses, their responses to those allegations that Gabby's parents made in that lawsuit, alleging that the Laundries caused them emotional distress because they didn't give them the information, is what they're alleging, okay? So, and then they need to, the parties or their attorneys, by by April 15th, I think was the right date, they need to, let me double check, hang on. Yeah, by April 14th, they need to meet and confer, right? And fill out that. So by April 14th, we'll get a completed copy of the case management report that both parties filled out. Okay, so we'll know what the proposed trial dates might be and when the pretrial conference is, maybe motions, maybe they're going to file a cross complaint or counter complaint against countersue the Gabby's parents. We don't know. We'll find that out. Okay, and then after that, so by April 19th, the case management report will be filed with the court. So again, we'll be able to take a look at that. And then if we'll also know whether or not there's any disagreement between the parties, because they would then be filing separate case management reports, right? So we'll find out if they disagree on any of those questions in the case management report. And I think, and then after that, the next thing could be whether or not Brian's parents file a motion to dismiss the complaint or any other motion to get rid of this lawsuit. We'll find that out. And then the next date, of course, when they either appear in the courtroom or by Zoom for the initial case management conference, which the judge will go over with both parties with the scheduling, the dates are going to be, and the deadlines that they're going to have to meet to progress the case. Okay, so that is June 30th in Venice at the South County Justice Courthouse. All right, so I think that's all I have to say at this point. I'll keep you posted. I'm going to keep following this case. Please do leave a comment or a question. And please share, hit that bell notification button, and please do support my work. And, as an appreciation, please do subscribe. Okay, thank you very much, and thanks again for watching.